Britain's Foreign Secretary James Cleverly is in China on a high-stakes diplomatic mission aimed at stabilising bilateral ties beset by years of tensions. He says maintaining relations is crucial even while disagreements persist.
We are clear-eyed about the areas where we have fundamental disagreements with China, and I raise those issues when we meet. But I think it's important we also recognise that we have to have a pragmatic, sensible working relationship with China because of the issues that affect us all around the globe.
Mr. Cleverly also underscored the benefits their relationship would have for the world at large during talks with his Chinese counterpart Wang Yi. He says he will not be pulling any punches and has been raising human rights concerns in all his meetings so far. All the pressure is on after British lawmakers released a report calling on the government to coordinate and toughen its approach towards China. And for more, CNA's Lo Minmin joins us live from Shanghai. Minmin, any signs so far from this visit that ties between Britain and China are or could be improving?
Well, this is a very long-awaited visit, the first in 5 years, which really underscores the downturn in relation in recent years, the two sides clashing over, for instance, China's growing assertiveness over Taiwan and the UK's closer security ties with the US. Security and human rights would have been a big part of the agenda, but it's hard to say how hard the British Foreign Secretary would have pushed his Chinese counterpart on this, given the closed-door nature of these meetings. We know the UK has been absorbing many Hong Kong immigrants. The British Prime Minister has recently called on China to lift the national security law imposed on Hong Kong, especially after police had issued police arrest warrants for 8 overseas activists. And the two countries also clashed over secret police stations in the UK allegedly operated by Beijing. And in the broader regional context, the UK would have asked Beijing to do more to get Russia to end the war in Ukraine and also to diffuse tension in the South China Sea. But we know the UK is walking a very tight balancing act here because they also want to expand economic ties with China, especially 3 years after Brexit. And we know that China is still one of the UK's top trading partners. Beijing's response so far is that Xinjiang and Hong Kong are purely its internal affairs. No other countries have the right to interfere in those. And it urged the UK to work with the US, to work with China in a spirit of mutual respect. Have a listen to what the Foreign Minister Wang Yi had said.
中方的态度是明确的，我们始终重视义务大国地位和独特作用，始终致力于发展稳定互惠的中英关系，始终认为中英合作具有全球影响。对话与合作是中国对英政策的关键词和主基调。
Well, experts say that this trip is very closely watched because it's really the first time that the UK's new multifaceted approach to China is meeting the reality on the ground here. And it's coming amid this broader EU debate about whether to de-risk from China. The British Prime Minister said to be considering to follow the US in limiting outbound investments into China. And experts say given this trip is so short, just lasting 1 day, very little can really be achieved beyond setting the tone for future engagements with no guarantees that it could lay the groundwork for a potential visit by the British Prime Minister to China at a later date.
Thanks. That's CNA's Lo Minmin speaking to us live from Shanghai.